When it comes to choosing a CPU, the debate between Intel and AMD is one of the most heated in the tech world. For years, these two giants have been locked in fierce competition, pushing each other to innovate and deliver better performance to consumers. But when we ask the question, which one is faster? The answer isn't as straightforward as picking a side. It depends on what kind of speed we're talking about: single-core performance, multi-threaded tasks, gaming, or productivity workloads. So let's dive into the real story behind Intel versus AMD when it comes to speed. To start, Intel has historically been known for its strong single-core performance. For many years, especially during the dominance of the i7 series, Intel led the market in raw core speed, making its CPUs ideal for tasks that relied heavily on single-thread performance like most games. Intel chips also offered better instructions per clock in many cases, which meant they could do more work in the same amount of time compared to AMD CPUs. This made Intel the go-to choice for gamers and professionals who needed consistency and speed in applications like Photoshop or Excel. However, tide began to turn with the release of AMD's Ryzen processors. Starting with Ryzen 1000 and progressing through Ryzen 2000, 3000, and the game-changing Ryzen 5000 series, AMD made massive leaps in performance. With the introduction of its Zen architecture, AMD managed to close the gap and eventually overtake Intel in several key performance categories. Ryzen processors offered more cores and threads for the money, making them exceptional for multitasking and productivity workloads. If you were rendering videos, working with 3D models, or doing data-heavy computation, AMD was often the faster choice. When AMD launched the Ryzen 5000 series, it stunned the industry. For the first time in over a decade, AMD matched, in some cases, beat Intel in single-core performance while continuing to dominate in multi-threaded tasks. The Ryzen 9590X and 5950X delivered staggering speed, and Intel had to play catch-up. Then came Intel's response with the 12th Gen Alder Lake processors, which introduced a hybrid architecture using performance and efficiency cores. This was a big move, and it allowed Intel to regain the crown in many benchmarks. CPUs like the i5-21260K and i9-12900K delivered outstanding performance in both gaming and productivity tasks. Intel was back in the fight, and arguably faster once again in many real-world tests. The performance race continued with Intel S13th and 14th Gen chips and AMD Ryzen 7000 series based on the Zen 4 architecture. Today, at the top end, we see competition that is almost neck and neck. Intel's Core i9-14900K and AMD's Ryzen 97950X are both beasts of performance. Intel maintains an edge in some gaming benchmarks, particularly where high frame rates are critical, while AMD often wins in heavily threaded workloads and power efficiency. But speed isn't just about raw numbers. AMD has consistently offered better performance per watt, which means its chips are often faster in longer workloads, without generating as much heat or drawing as much power. For users building compact PCs or those who value efficiency, AMD may be the better option. On the other hand, Intel often clocks higher, which gives it an advantage in burst performance and latency-sensitive tasks like competitive gaming. Another factor is platform speed and support. Intel's frequent platform changes mean that with each new generation, users often have to buy a new motherboard. AMD, in contrast, has been praised for maintaining compatibility across multiple generations on the AM4 socket. So, which is faster, Intel or AMD? The honest answer is, it depends on your use case. If you're a gamer looking for the absolute highest frame rates, Intel often edges out AMD by a few percentage points, especially with its latest chips. If you're a content creator doing video editing, 3D rendering, or multitasking with heavy software, AMD might be faster overall thanks to its high core and thread counts. If your focus is power, efficiency, and thermals, AMD tends to offer better performance per watt. But if you want the latest connectivity features and maximum burst performance, Intel leads the way. The truth is, we are lucky to be in a time when both Intel and AMD are delivering phenomenal CPUs. The real decision should be based on what you do, what your budget is, and what kind of performance matters most for your tasks. In a nutshell, Intel may be faster in gaming and single-threaded scenarios, while AMD is often faster in multi-threaded and power-efficient workloads. There's no clear overall winner, but there's definitely a better option, depending on your needs. Like and subscribe to help the channel grow. We appreciate you for watching. Cheers.